So, I tried to stop drinking alcohol for about 10 years, and there was really just one thing that was holding me back all along. And it wasn't until I actually stopped drinking for a prolonged period of time did I start to realize the reason why it was so hard for me to stop drinking. But as soon as it became apparent, as soon as I saw it, it was like this light bulb of like, well, of course it was difficult. Because these days, it's not difficult for me to not drink. Not drinking is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. It's as easy as picking up your mail from a mailbox, or making a sandwich. Stopping drinking's the most simple, easy, and logical thing I've ever done. But the reason why it was hard is because of the one thing I'm going to break down for you in this video today. This is going to change the game for you, and I am telling you 99% of people that struggle to stop drinking alcohol fall for this as well. Now, a quick introduction. If you're new here, my name is Leon Sylvester. I'm the founder of SoberClear.com, which is a new method to help business owners and professionals get in control of their drinking within as little as 48 hours. If you want details on how the coaching program works, just go over to SoberClear.com. But I drank alcohol for around about 10 years. I've not drank for 6 years. It's changed my life in every single way. And I would love to see if it's a good match to help you with my new method. We've already worked with 400 clients, business owners, professionals from NASA, from Forbes, from JP Morgan. And if you don't want to do it on your own and you want to see if it's a good match, just head over to the website. But now let's break down the thing that made it so difficult for me to stop drinking. And it's one word: fear. I was always afraid to stop drinking, but that might not make sense to you right now. You might think, I'm not afraid. What are you talking about? Well, this is a different kind of fear. And this fear manifested in two ways. The first way that it would manifest is when I was actually thinking about stopping drinking. So if I was drinking and maybe I woke up with a hangover and I'm like, right, I'm not going to drink again. Well, the thought of that would fill me with this weird feeling. And it's not like a fear of clowns or any kind of phobia. It was this fear of the future. It was this low level of anxiety. And I would think, okay, well, I could stop drinking, but then how am I going to enjoy my life? Oh, by the way, I burst a blood vessel in my eye doing a clean and jerk in the gym yesterday. So that's why my eye looks a bit strange. But I would feel this feeling of, I'm just not going to be able to get through life without my friend, without alcohol. How am I going to enjoy socializing? How am I going to get home after a long day of work? How am I going to be able to do anything without alcohol? So I'd already start with this feeling of, I don't know if I'm ready. Now, the second way that this fear would manifest is if I actually managed to stop drinking. And what would happen is, a friend would come over and they'd bring a bottle of wine and they'd have a drink and they'd be like, hey, Leon, do you want a drink? And I'd be like, nah, not really. But in my heart, kind of want it. Maybe I'd go out to a restaurant and then I wouldn't be drinking, my friend wouldn't be drinking, or my girlfriend wouldn't be drinking, and then I'd look around me and then everybody was drinking and laughing and having a great time, and I'd feel this feeling of missing out. So I'd have this fear of actually being around alcohol. I'd start to be afraid of going out and socializing because I'd have this fear that I might slip up. It might just pull me back in. So if I had fear, if I was thinking of stopping drinking, but then I'd have fear when I actually stopped drinking, what do you think happened? Well, the first thing that would happen is I may procrastinate. I may tell myself that I'm not quite ready yet. Maybe after X, Y, Z has happened, then I'll be ready. Or I'd stop drinking alcohol, and then I'd constantly have to fight this idea that everybody around me was doing something that was enjoyable and fun, and I would spend the entire time not drinking alcohol. Number one is wanting to drink, and then number two, having to resist the urge not to drink. So I was pretty much destined to fail either way. So what's the answer? How do you overcome these fears? Because this could be resonating with you. You might be hearing this thinking, that's exactly what it's like for me as well. Well, if so, I know because I've been in your shoes. But the first answer is you need to see alcohol and drinking alcohol for what it is. Listen, it's drug addiction. There's no other way to put it. Because when you're addicted to a drug, you rationalize and justify that behavior. Your brain works in this really weird way. So when I was afraid of stopping drinking, when I had that fear and that low level anxiety, thinking, how am I going to deal with life without drinking? That wasn't anything other than the drug taking over my thoughts, taking over my mind, holding onto my beliefs, and making it difficult for me to stop drinking. Listen, if I wanted to give up water and only drink sparkling water, is that going to be hard? If I wanted to switch orange juice for apple juice, is that going to be difficult? If I told myself I'm never going to drink milk again, am I going to feel any kind of fear? Of course not. Nobody will. But it's still a drink. I'm still drinking that thing. But the thing is these things aren't drugs. I promise you one thing. Once you stop drinking alcohol, that fear goes away. But you know what? I'm not saying that it goes away on day zero. You will feel some kind of fear, and you've got to be okay with that. And do you know what the answer is? Do you know what the antidote to that fear is? It's courage. It's standing up to that fear and saying, okay, This is going to feel uncomfortable, but I promise you one thing. You haven't got anything to be afraid of. Give it a couple of days. Yeah, okay, do you know what? The first few days might be a bit rough. You might feel like you've got a flu. But once you've got through those first few days, that fear just disappears. If you want help doing it, you can click the link in the description and book a call. We can see if the Sober Clear program could be a good match for you. And if you want more information on that, just go to soberclear.com. But you need to be willing to stand up to the drug. So what about the FOMO that we can feel? What about that feeling of missing out? Getting a call from a friend and having to say no and avoid alcohol. How do you get rid of this? Because surely that's different. Surely that's the thing that's difficult to stop doing. Well, it isn't. It's easy because you need to go back to this idea that the reason why people drink alcohol is not because they enjoy it, it's not because they like it, it's because they're hooked on a drug. See, when I go out to a restaurant and people are ordering expensive drinks and wines and champagne, I don't look at that and think, oh, wouldn't that be nice? I look at that and I feel sorry for them. I feel like, why are they doing this? And I see it for what it is. It's nothing more than a bunch of people that are addicted to a drug. And the gross way to say it is, I kind of see it as like a massive poop, right? A massive turd. And it's like flies on a turd that just want to be on this disgusting, horrible thing. And that just sounds a bit crude and it might sound a bit judgmental, but it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's coming from a place of reality. People that drink alcohol don't enjoy taking the drug. They are hooked on a drug that is doing nothing for them. What can you seriously gain from drinking this drug? Well, the answer is nothing. When you see people out with a family and you know, some of the guys having a beer and the ladies having wine, everybody's laughing and joking, it's not the drug that's making them enjoy themselves. It's the good times. It's the people. But drinking alcohol is the dumbest idea ever. And when you get your head right, when you see it without the lies that we've been told about how it's, you know, helping us live longer, how it's been portrayed in the media, when you see through all of this nonsense and you bring it down to its core and you see alcohol as ethanol, the fear leaves you, stopping drinking becomes an easy, logical choice. And if you click the video on the screen now, you can learn some of the warning signs that alcohol could be killing you.